Ryan, what up? My name's Ryan.
Okay, tell us about your dream.
So this dream, it's one of those dreams where it's scary but amazing at the same time. I believe that this dream is for someone. This dream is for those who need reminding, that there is such a place. So I was laying in my bed, sleeping, but I'm not a dreamer. I'm not a dreamer, first of all, and but all of a sudden, I could see my body in my bed, and I can see myself laying there, and I was being pulled down, as if like someone was like grabbing me. It kind of felt like it was getting hot, like really, really hot. And it was to a point where like I felt like my skin is gonna fall off hot, and I felt like I was literally gonna turn into ash by the time I hit the floor. And I fell for some time, and then I landed really hard in this prison, if you will. This prison, it looked like a dungeon. It was filthy, disgusting, it was smelly. And what I saw many other cells. I was looking past my own cell, and I saw these people like writhing, and they were like screaming, and they were just like limbs falling off everywhere. It was horrifying to look at. Obviously, the first thing in there, it wasn't just the heat that really got me, it was the screams. Just the screams alone would make anyone go mad. The screams that's just the small part of what it's like in hell. There's absolute confusion, nothing going on happening over there. Everlasting destruction is what I would call it, because there's nothing else for you there but to really suffer. Past myself, I look to the left of me, and I see this big pit of fire. This fire, the fire just it like shifted like some slightly to blue, and then back to red and orange. And this fire was so hot that that even if I was just like millions and millions of like miles away from the fire, like I could feel it. From that fire, I saw people just running around, screaming and burning, and their flesh was like falling off, but it would come back at the same time. Their skin, it would just like fall off, but then come back at the same time. I can't explain it properly, but that's what I saw. So they were meant to endure that pain. This is real pain. It's not metaphorical. This is real. Just to go back on that one, on the prison, in the book of the Bible, it says that they shall be gathered into the prison, where they will be punished for many days. That's a real scripture, and Jesus talks about hell more than any other place. Right. And so while I was in my cell, I could like just describing the smell. It was horrible, worst open sewage you could ever think of. And the book of the Bible, it uses the word sulfur, and
so it smelled like it.
Yeah, it smelled like being in a volcano. Sulfur is poisonous, and you could barely get a breath of oxygen in there. That's what it is. Basically, what you're breathing in there, what you're breathing in for oxygen, like right now, imagine that just being replaced with sulfur for all of eternity. Because this is a prison, I saw its wardens, and they were demons of all shapes and sizes, and all and they all looked ferocious. They all look so demonic. Hollywood would never recreate them. No, they could never. The thing is, what I saw what these demons could do is that they had all of eternity to just be creative in what they could do to you. One of the other things I noticed about the demons is that they were blaspheming like God. Like they would look up to the sky and like say, like, we hate you. Look what we're doing to your children. This is what we hate you. Like stuff like that. In the Bible it says like the world will hate me, and then they'll hate you. And so that's what they did. We were made in the image of God, and so torturing us is like the closest bit of like getting back at him. The thing is, I was taken into a room. The floor was made of fire and maggots, and there was this wall, and in that wall was in the shape of a crucifix. I was hung on that place. It was like this, basically. And the demons, they hang me up there, and they were like taunting me and saying, "You're stuck in here with us. You ain't gonna get out of here." If I could describe what those things looked like, they were, imagine a lion crossed with a crocodile, and they were like 10 foot tall. Those things were tall, big teeth, big claws, eyes that I think I feel like I could still see. Like, those eyes are terrifying to look at. What they had were these whips. These whips were like, they were like snakes. Imagine a snake that is filled with spikes, and it had a handle on it. That's what it looked like. And these whips, they would just whip me. 3 of them, these 3 demons were just standing right there, whipping me and whipping me and whipping me, and I'm like not being to exist is so preferable to being in this. Like, that's how much in pain I was. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that when I was looking around, people didn't know each other. In the book of the Bible, it says that your name shall be covered in darkness, meaning that you won't remember any of the people who are next to you. You won't get to say a goodbye. You won't be able to say, where are my loved ones? They won't know where you are. The worst part was that in the book of Luke, it says that there was a great a great chasm, that separated heaven and hell. The rich man, and he saw Lazarus with Abraham. I saw myself looking up while I was being whipped, and I could see everyone, you included, were in heaven having the best time of their life, but you didn't know that I was down here. Everyone was too happy to know that I was down there suffering for all of eternity. And what's worse is that I didn't say goodbye. I didn't get a second chance. I couldn't even get a single prayer out to them. That was the worst part, because I was eternally separated. Thing is, with hell, if you take everything from if you take the attributes of God away, you get hell. Hell is a total separation from God, and so if you say that God is love, take that love away, that's hell. If you take like, God gives you living water, there's no water in hell. You can't get that. God is mercy. There is no mercy in hell. Just take every single aspect that you know of God and put the complete opposite. That's what hell is. And the fire was like, I guess it's like symbolic to his wrath, Really, I was being whipped repeatedly for 3 minutes in that place, and I was thinking I was never gonna get out of here, and I thought I was that this is it for me. Because if I thought that what my life was difficult like now, it paled in comparison, and that place isn't worth living. That place was meant to be, it was only meant to be created for Satan and his angels, That's what it says in the book of the Bible. But if people reject Jesus wholeheartedly, and so Jesus, being just as he is, he basically just says that if you don't want anything to be with, like, anything, if you don't want anything that you want to do with me, there's a place for you, and I don't send you there. You send yourself there. What really boggled my mind was that in hell, there are some people there that would rather prefer being in there. They would rather stay in hell rather than be somewhere else. Because what's the alternative? There's heaven, and you're there with God. People don't like to be with God sometimes. People reject Jesus wholeheartedly. So there's a place for them, and they would rather be there than be with Jesus. and there are people there who thought that they were Christians, but they were sent there only because what they did is they substituted their works for a relationship with God. And so they thought that by simply going to church, serving on a team, or giving tithes, that they will go to heaven. But no, that's not it, because they didn't accept Jesus. They didn't establish a relationship with him, and so that's where they ended up. That place has like degrees of punishment, but that's kind of like the gist of what it was like in hell, and that was like 5 minutes, really. That's kind of like, yeah, how it was, really.
Sounds terrible.
Yes.
Sounds terrible.